Right, welcome back. Welcome back to another video. We are doing some work on the Escort today. I'll spin you around in a minute. But yeah, basically we've done the suspension, sorted the rear tyre scrubbing bit out. Don't know why I'm pointing to the lawnmower, but yeah. So done all that. That's all looking fine. I did replace the tyres, and I've literally just gone to put it back. I'll spin you around. But one of my tyres is already flat. Brand new tyres. I even cleaned up the rim and everything. But yeah, don't know. It has. Yeah. So the next thing is we try to obviously adjust the gear linkage to stop it from popping out of gear. And that's crunches on third and fourth as well, so I was quite adamant that was the gearbox, but we tried to adjust the linkage anyway, and that didn't work. So today we're going to be changing the gearbox for a spare one that I've got, which came off the XR3i race car, which is actually a RS turbo gearbox. So yeah, it's got the limited slip diff in it. Again, that won't be staying because I have got a complete engine and gearbox to go in this, an ST170 engine and gearbox. You're probably thinking, well, why don't you just start the build now type thing? But I want to use this summer, and it's gonna take time, and I've got loads of other projects at the minute. As you see, still got the Metro I want to get finished off. My wife's GTR, getting that sorted at the minute, and then all the other various Rovers and the Streetwise, that's dead at the minute as well. The Metro Turbo, again, I've got some stuff to do on that, so I'm going to save the engine conversion on this Escort until I've got nothing to do, basically. I've been sitting on it for about 3 years now, so I've got the engine gearbox, or the engine ECU, and the throttle bodies and all that sort of stuff. That's all ready to go and drop in, basically. So yeah, hopefully this winter we can make a start on it and get it done. Right, so a little bit tight in the old garage. I will open the door up in a minute, but yeah, let's get it all started. Let's get it jacked up off the floor first, get the wheels off, and then hopefully we can yeah, make a start. snap. Bit sketchy. You could really do with 2 jacks, to be honest with you, but I've got the jack underneath the gearbox cradle. I've got a load of blocks of wood underneath the sump. I'm gonna have to lower this down so the top of the gearbox is away from the top of the lip here. So looking probably a good 4 to 6 inches. That needs to drop down by. So just got this last bolt here, and hopefully not round it off. But hopefully we can now lower this down enough onto our blocks where we can obviously remove the gearbox. Right, I've just whipped the old clutch out. As I said before, this gearbox has been recently rebuilt. So I don't know why it's failed, but it has. But also had a new clutch put into it. I thought, pulling away in second gear, I thought I'd just pull the old clutch out just to have a look at it, and it looks alright. So it's a Valio one, so we can reuse that. And I just whipped the flywheel off because we've got a little bit of oil around here, but I just think there's residue, so it looks like it's got a relatively new oil seal in there. So I think that's just like residue where it hasn't been cleaned properly. So we're going to give all that a clean. We've got some CV grease all splattered over here because of it's got a CV boot gone. I've got a couple of boots. Fuel filter I've never replaced since I've had the car, so I think it's about time we do that. We're going to take all that off, we're going to get the bracket off, give that a clean as well, so it looks rusty and manky. So yeah, something's okay, it's a bit of flaky paint, looks relatively solid. So yeah, we're just going to clean up all this old oil. I've got half a dozen cans of brake cleaner, so get rid of all this grot. Get rid of all this grot here. Clean all this up here. Here's my new CV boots. I've got an inner and an outer, but I think they're the same by the looks of it. I did order an in and out, they're just off eBay. Brand new fuel filter, Ford one. Here's the old gearbox. I think someone's tried painting this when that was in the car instead of while that was out of the car, because it's just oversprayed paint everywhere. Didn't really get much oil out of it either, so that might have been a consequence of it failing. Just see the CV boot here is just split, just grease everywhere, and I've got a inner one out one as well just in case. And I've put this over here because, again, there's lots of oil and grease everywhere, so I'm going to jet wash all that off with some traffic film remover or degreaser or something. Try and get that all nice and clean. I have got all this powder coated, which I got done for the XR3i race cars, all exactly the same, that I was debating using, but I can't get one of the plates off underneath for the anti-roll bar. I didn't want to leave that on there, so yeah, I think I'm just going to clean all this up. As I say, it's all going to come off anyway for when we do the engine swap later on in the year, but this is just to get it all up and ready for the summer basically. So this is the gearbox that I've got, again, come off the race car, all been freshly rebuilt prior to me buying it, and it's got a limited slip diff in it. So I can't run the limited slip diff in the races that I wanted to do in a classic stock hatch, so we'll take this one out, we'll send that other one off to be repaired, and then yeah, we'll use the other one because it's got no limited slip diff in it. So I'm just going to get everything all cleaned up off camera. I think I might need to go to the workshop to get a clutch alignment tool. If not, I'll go over to Halfords and just buy one, as Halfords in town, so nothing too drastic. But yeah, I think we'll just give everything a good old clean, and start putting it all back together again. All cleaned up. Back and plate cover back on. Right, as you can see, we've progressed on quite well. My wife had to use my phone for the HelloFresh because it didn't come with no menu, so we had to use my phone for the menu bit side of things. But we've got the gearbox in, we cleaned up the clutch, flywheel, stuck all that in, got all that torqued down. Gearbox in, cross member is all in. All the bell housing bolts are in, starter motor is in, the speedo drive is in, and I have got the fuel filter bracket taken off, painted, and new genuine Ford fuel filter in as well. clutch cable is in, or the little grommet isn't in properly. So yeah, I'm just going to carry on and just chuck some bits back together again. We've got the drive shafts to go in, gear links to go on, and the roll bar and bottom arms to all go back on, and we should be good to go. Apart from the gearbox oil, haven't got no gearbox oil left at the workshop. I have got this little pipe here because I did notice that the coolant pipe that runs down the bottom of the engine, there's a metal coolant pipe underneath there. So the metal coolant pipe, as you can see, is leaking water. So what I'm going to do is, I've got a bit of silicone hose, I've got a couple of joiners, and I'm literally going to silicone hose that in, just waiting for some P-clips so I can hold the silicone hose onto the rad cowl itself so it's not flapping around. And we'll take this one off and we'll see if we can get that replicated in stainless or something. See if there's someone that can do that for me. And again, you can't get these bits anymore, so there might be a chance that we can get these replicated and put them out to any other XR3i owners, because I think there's an XR3i part only. I don't think you can, that's on the RS turbos. So anyway, let's crack on, let's get some drive shafts in, get some bottom arms in, and hopefully we can get linkages in as well. Just need setting up. Fresh boots on the drive shafts, both ends, because they're all split and leaking. I've got a couple of new drive shaft nuts as well, because the old one looked like it's been used 16 million times. Well, I've done that wrong because the washer should be on this side. So let's take it out again. And because this is a spherical joint, you don't need to have the vehicle at ride height basically to tighten it up. Right, so just setting up this gear linkage. You can see I've got it in 4th gear, and you can see the drill bit that goes through the inspection hole. That holds the gear stick in 4th gear. So now we can put the actual gearbox in 4th gear. So the shaft is in the middle, and you do that with a little pokey poddy tool, the little hole in there. So you put that in and just make sure that's fully in the middle and forward. Just centralise the U-joint, and then hopefully just tighten that nut up, and that should be gear selector all in sync. Now the Haynes manual do say 87 onwards cars 5-speed gearboxes in 4th gear, so that's what I'm doing at. So let's get the drill bit out and see if it goes in gear. Right, that's pretty much about it. Everything's all back together again now. I'm just waiting for some oil, and then we fill up with oil and stick the wheels on, and that is all that's left to do. The water leak is, well, I'll go back to the workshop and do the oil leaks. It needs an MOT anyway. So it's only a little drip, that'd be fine to get me 10 miles to the workshop to make sure we're all topped off. And I will do a engine oil and filter change at the same time, stick an air filter in it because we've done the fuel filter, and I haven't done a service on this car since I've had it, not even an engine oil change. So although it's only probably done like 2,000 miles, but it's been like 5 or 6 years since owning the car. Right, one thing that I wanted to do ever since I've had this car is change the gear knob from this horrible leather aftermarket one and stick on a nice original XR3i gear knob. Hopefully that will screw in nicely. There we go, start to go tight. And I think that looks a hell of a lot better than this old manky leather aftermarket piece of shit, basically. Now that gear knob, second hand, and you can still see I've cleaned and cleaned and cleaned this, but you can see all the dirt still ingrained into there and into the top of it. I've got all that out with a pick, and still there's still loads of dirt in there, so I picked all that out, gave it some all-purpose cleaner. But I think once I get to the workshop, we're going to use our detailing steam cleaner and get rid of all that anyway. So, but all the gears can be selected, which is nice. So we just wait for the oil to turn up, stick that in, stick the top wheels on, and then hopefully we can go for a test drive. Right, I've got my little garden hose and my funnel, and I've got my oil. This is just what I had left over from the GTR. It should be 80 EP, I think, is the spec of the oil in the Haynes manual, but I don't think you can get anything like that anymore. But what a lot of people say is 75, 90. It has got a limited slip diff, and I was assured I don't need limited slip diff oil because the limited slip diff that's in here is a viscous type, so it's got its own oil already built into it. So this is literally just for the gearbox gears itself. So we'll just get it set up and then we'll get all this poured in. Right, so that is all done, cleaned up, looking good. So next thing is to get the wheels back on, get it back on the floor and see if it goes in gear and drives. Just so nice to look underneath here and there is no oil leaks from the engine or gearbox. That's going to be bliss, that is. Keep the underneath nice and clean. Obviously we've still got the coolant leak at the front here by this water pump pipe, but we'll sort that when we get to the workshop. Right, I know it already starts because I had to prime the old fuel filter up. There we go. Do it go into gear and will it pop out. I'm not going to go too far because it's got no tax, no MOT. I think that was third gear actually. Let's try first. Well, that would have popped out by now. Oh, big crunch in second. That's 3. I'm literally just going to turn around at this little pile here and go back. Don't like second gear. See if we can get reverse. We got reverse. I've got no scrubbing in the rear arches either. That would have popped out first by now. Yeah, got all 5 gears. Crunches in second though. This gearbox is probably knackered as well. Right, so there we have it then. Gearbox is all in. Now, when that was in the race car, I thought that all the gears were okay, but I didn't take it down the road or anything. To be honest with you, I didn't even check the gearbox. So yeah, it just ran. I drove it around the yard and on the estate a little bit and that was fine. So pretty sure I got it into second gear and I didn't get any crunching unless I forgot. But yeah, all is good apart from that second gear crunch. I don't know really what to say about that, to be honest with you, apart from that the second gear synchro is probably gone. I mean, we adjusted the gear linkage to how it should be. That drives through all the gears. That don't pop out of first anymore. It don't crunch in third and fourth. So it's just that second gear now. So yeah, was it a waste of time? I have no idea. Right, next thing we're going to do on this is we are going to take it to the workshop, get an MOT on it, do the servicing. So when we take it to the workshop, I'll have a little bit more of a better drive, get that gearbox oil nice and hot as well, see if that might cure the second gear crunch. I don't know. We'll just check all the fluids. We've got a coolant rail to fix as well. So yeah, let's get this back on the road in the next episode. Taxed, MOT'd, and yeah, hopefully driving almost 100%. But yeah, I'm happy that the rear arches aren't scrubbing anymore with that new setup that we put in. Yeah, a bit disappointed on the second gear crunch, but is what it is, I guess. We'll just carry on, and if it needs to come out again, that needs to come out again. But I think if that comes out again, then we'll do the conversion with the engine, the ST170 on the throttle bodies, and I've got a rear starter motor gearbox to go on that as well. So we might take the LSD out of this gearbox, put it in that other gearbox when we do all the conversion of that. But you know what, if we need to double clutch it into seconds to stop that crunch, or we'll just carry on crunching it, it don't really make no difference, to be honest with you. But at least we can pull away without it popping out first now. Right, I think that will do it for this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, obviously give it a like. Consider subscribing if you're not already subscribed, and then that will make it a little bit easier for when the next episode come out. That'll pop up in your browser. So we'll see you in the next video.